Hello everybody, welcome back for some StarCraft 2 action. We have Trigger going up against HeRoMaRinE. HeRoMaRinE building a barracks? Not in the wall, but near this edge of his base. Getting the Reaper outside of his base slightly faster, and it's of course annoying for Trigger that he can't just scout the top of the ramp. On the other side of the map, we see Trigger going for a Reaper wall. On Oceanborn, we're here, Katowice 2024. Basically the World Championships for StarCraft 2. And HeRoMaRinE, at this portion of the tournament, was absolutely crushing face. Big Gabe came out swinging. Whereas Trigger had a bit more of a shaky appearance so far, but it's the middle of the group, so anything can happen. We saw Trigger play against Gumiho, and I mean, he took a pretty convincing game. I think it was even on Oceanborn. So let's see if Trigger can repeat his performance that he showed versus the Guma God, versus Big Gabe over here. Oh my god, SCV kill, but the SCV does get the return kill on that probe. And the barracks was not scouted by Trigger, so Trigger now has to play a little bit more defensive, playing as if there is a barracks very close. And you see that he's doing that by making this Zealot. He has to finish this Zealot, because if this Reaper was in his base right now, he wants that Zealot to chase the Reaper, so that the Reaper has to shoot the Zealot instead of shooting your probes. It's literally a meat shield that can also do damage. And now you kind of wanted to run past the Reaper, that, you know, the Reaper won't be here very fast. It's a rough one for Trigger. He was forced to make a Zealot, now he's losing HP on it as well, and it's not going across the map. If the CC was on the low ground and he managed to dodge the Reaper, oh my god, actually got the Reaper kill with the Adept. And now two dangerous warp gate units, or gateway units, are walking across the map, looking if they can cancel this CC. Of course, Trigger doesn't know that it's not on low ground, but we have this Cyclone unit coming out, which will probably prevent any damage from being done. Let's see what Trigger's up to. Going for the Twilight Console once more. We do have a gateway here. Trigger scouting out that, oh, there is no CC here. And might throw in a Shade, or walks up his body. Shade goes back. Ooh, is he gonna scout? He's gonna scout the Cyclone. I don't know if he saw it, but I think he did. Tech Lab coming out. Did he see? He also saw the CC. Okay, that's good information there for Trigger. Of course, that's the benefit of sending the body. The body has more vision than the Shade of that Adept. So one Cyclone is coming across the map. We have 3 gateway units here. Oh, actually moving back the moment the Cyclone reveals itself, so not going for any type of catch. The Cyclone went all the way around here, because if it goes up the ramp, you get that little Dota moment where, oh, there's a bunch of heroes on top there, and I get stunned and killed before I even see them. It also happens in StarCraft. If you walk up a ramp and there's just 5 Marines there, if they don't shoot you right away, like they let you move up a little bit, then you're just gonna get shredded by all of those Marines. Now we see a little drop here from HeRoMaRinE, very annoying. With this medevac here, can really micro that Cyclone. Cyclone gets a nice, oh, doesn't quite get the kill. Get the hot pickups there. No units lost, but big damage onto the hull of the Stalkers, but also Trigger just ready for that. How many gateways does he have? 4 gateways and a robo, so he's going for this 4-gate robo blink push. Gets a Warp Prism, chronos it out. Little jump cut, because somebody was at the door. HeRoMaRinE's medevac is hastily moving back after seeing that Stalker count and seeing the Twilight Console. Even saw all the gateways. He knows exactly what is up. Bunker is almost ready. There's already a siege tank. And also a siege tank in the main. HeRoMaRinE is so ready. I want to see a Nexus from Trigger, and I want to see it now. Said he's making more Stalkers. I think 9 Stalkers is fine. Raven, who doesn't get the pick off on it, doesn't reveal blink. I mean, you already know he has blink, but doesn't blink in front. Wow, big blink. Gets a pick off there onto the medevac. but immediately gets shot by at least one of the tanks. Little pickup micro with the War Prism. Oh, that Marine snipe onto that Stalker pack as well. More Stalkers being added on. We do see a third base here from Trigger. So it is just a pressure. Blinks in with the Stalkers again. HeRoMaRinE does know about it. He has one Zealot in front taken. A couple shots from the tanks. Nice job there tanking the tank shots with those Zealots. Oh, actually blinks forward there with 4 Stalkers. Gets 2 SCV kills and picks them up onto the War Prism or into the War Prism. So nice play here by Trigger, getting a little bit of value from his attack. Getting charged now, getting a Forge for either +1 attack or +1 armor. More blink micro here from the Stalkers, getting another SCV kill. And we're up to 4 SCV kills and just being plain annoying, honestly. No interference matrix on deck, so since you now have to upgrade that, HeRoMaRinE can't shut down this War Prism. Ooh, don't fly into those Marines. Not too close to the War Prism sun. Ooh. Stalkers eat a siege tank shot for that Marine kill, but the Stalkers are alive. Pretty low on health, some of them, but a lot of Stalkers. Oh, the no-shield Stalker was in front. Another Stalker gets killed by the siege tank. Nice targeting by HeRoMaRinE. Does manage to take down one siege tank Trigger there. And no third base for HeRoMaRinE, and this is kind of the impending doom, the ticking time bomb that is Trigger, or is HeRoMaRinE right now. If he moves out with this ginormous force, Trigger has to have something at home to absorb this attack, and he's choosing to get a lot of charge lots for that. We see +1 attack halfway done. We see the robotic support bay coming out as well. For Zealots are going to be dropped in the main. I like that a lot. And the Stalkers picked off another unit here. HeRoMaRinE trying to get into position. Trigger can't allow this. Puts a couple of Zealots into your main base. And HeRoMaRinE pulls the trigger. Goes onto the center of Trigger. Burrows his mines. Sieges his tanks. And carefully takes the position. Not too over-eager. Now fighting the army. The nuclear battery immediately targeted down. On the other side of the map, we see a bunch of zombies in the main base of HeRoMaRinE. But Trigger at home doesn't have a lot of Stalkers. 4 Stalkers is all that he has. 1 Colossus is coming out, but 2 tanks here. Probes pulled off the line. 10 already dead. More to fall. Bunch of Zealots are now warped in onto the third base. Here in the main base, bunch of units did die, but not a lot of SCVs went down. So just the Zealots trading themselves out for units. Zealots now on top of the siege tanks. Take down the first siege tank. Second siege tank also about to fall, and Trigger holds, but did lose 16 probes for that. More Zealots being warped into the main base here. And, ooh, Gabe did build a third base here, so he has a long-term plan. He's not stuck on 2 bases with no upgrades. No, he has +1 and a third base. Now, a couple SCVs do go down here, and Gabe goes back home with the 2 Marauders that he does have. Colossus does a pretty good job here, or, well, we have 1 Colossus. 2 more barracks being added on, up to a total of 5 barracks here for HeRoMaRinE. Armor being researched as well. And the main minerals are dipping a little bit. Same for Trigger here, so he's glad that he has a third base. And the worker count is actually even for both. 2 orbitals, or 3 orbitals dropping mules for HeRoMaRinE here, of course. So it's about even if you look at the income. But when this third drops for HeRoMaRinE, I feel like he's going to shoot ahead. No +2 here for Trigger. He did chrono boost it, but didn't start it. Oh, there's +2, okay. I think he just tried to start +2 just before he had 150 gas. Or is it 175? I don't know. The patches are confusing me. I think it's 150. I'm not crazy. Just gonna trust my StarCraft instincts. Big force for HeRoMaRinE. Moving out again, we have all of the bio upgrades here, including concussive shot. So slowing down those units. And we have a bunch of sentries. We have some Colossus, but not a lot of Zealots here. Trigger had to build a lot of probes to get that income or mineral income back up to snuff. Does warp in a bunch of Zealots on HeRoMaRiNE's side of the map, and big doom drop. 6 medevacs just drop on into the main base. We have a Tasteless and Arctosis pylon ready to be sniped here, but actually, all of these force fields kind of diluting the army. What is happening here? Oh, Widowmine gets a decent shot here, and actually, what a hole here for Trigger. 3 medevacs survive. That looked very dangerous. And, ooh, the shield battery does get taken down. There's a bunch of bio here at the third base. All of the forces of Trigger need to walk down the normal way. And actually, his Colossus can't use their cliff walking ability because of the Reaper wall. That's kind of crazy. Oh my god, big fight here in the middle. Charge has already been used. The Widowmine gets a pretty nice shot off. All the Zealots melt away against the bio here. They are 1-1, only +1 for Trigger. First Colossus gets picked off by these Marauders. Big click on that Colossus. The sentries are gone, no more Guardian Shield. And the army supply of HeRoMaRinE is skyrocketing. Now just starting +1 range for Trigger. I don't know if he forgot it or that he thought he could not afford it. Just wanted to make more units and more Colossus. Because the 6-range Colossus is still pretty effective. Nice nullification of that 1 mine there, but no observer. Now just getting that observer out there. Look at this natural. It's almost empty. The main, almost empty. And his third base is oversaturated. He needs that 4th base. But he just can't afford it because he just doesn't have an army to contest the map. Ooh, more run-bys here from Trigger. He's been doing such a good job with that all game, but only 16 SCVs died in total. Gabe has been doing a very good job of dealing with that. I've been showcasing that a lot since, I mean, we have to focus on the main fight as well. 4th base now going down, and that is when your heart sinks a little bit. If you are Trigger, 5 more SCVs did go down? Or is that just 1 more? 19 in total. Oh, charge get expended and pulls back the Zealots after charge has been used. Very nice, because otherwise they just kind of stand there and die. Oh. Trigger actually fighting back on the map here. Lots of Marauders are ready, but the Marauders aren't as good at taking down Zealots because Marauders are good against armored units and Zealots are light units, whereas Stalkers and Colossus do have the armor tag or armored armor type. Widowmine prevents the 4th base for a little bit longer. Oh, so frustrating if you are Trigger. 2 Widowmines stop another run-by from Trigger here. And he's been throwing these zombies into HeRoMaRiNE's face, but they just get caught a little bit too much. HeRoMaRiNE is doing such a good job, and Trigger can't afford to be that cost inefficient right now. He needs to find big damage, and that's kind of why you have to keep doing it as well. If you lose like 2 sets of Zealots to try and get big damage done, that means you have to get big damage done. Does that make sense? Because every Zealot that you lose for nothing means you're further behind. So the more behind you are, the more you need to hit that jackpot. And we have another big ding 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 jackpot unit here in the Disruptor. And oh my god, HeRoMaRiNE stims on into the center here of Trigger, getting into the center of the bases, and there's no splash damage here to stop the bio from just stimming on top of the army of Trigger. Only Stalkers there to stop any type of drop play in the natural. The nuclear battery does keep this together for Trigger. He is in this game, but he needs to keep this 4th base alive forever. Turtle up, get these Disruptor boys, and get maxed. Because he only has 50 probies. Not a lot of workers. Not even making more Doom Drop in the natural. The Stalkers are not in position this time around. Trigger had consolidated his army. Oh my god, 7 probes go down, and that is a big portion of your worker line. The natural gets sniped. I don't think you even try to rebuild it at this point. And another big fight at the 4th base, which is the most important part. And HeRoMaRiNE takes down Trigger here on game number 1, Oceanborn, with a very nice 2-prong. Gets a big Doom Drop, pulls away half the army, and then thrusts in another big army on top of Trigger's forces. The Disruptors did not get the hits. The Colossus could not stand his ground. And Trigger capitulates. Gabe takes game number 1. And we are here in game number 2. Hecate. is the second game for this TVP series. HeRoMaRinE taking the first one down fairly convincingly, although I really liked Trigger's opening there. Taking a lot of initiative with the Blink Stalker, with the Warp Prism, and really abusing the big main base layout of Oceanborn, not to forget a pretty big natural base layout as well. So these Stalkers could have come from either side, and HeRoMaRinE had to prepare for that, which he did. He had 2 siege tanks and a bunker ready to roll and defend the onslaught that was Trigger. Now, Trigger did transition quite nicely, I feel like, into a third base, getting some upgrades, get that Charge Zealot upgrade going, and he went ham with the Zealot run-bys and the Zealot drops from that War Prism. And it's a little bit of a difficult map to make that work. It's slightly easier to approach all of, or to defend all of your bases, and slightly harder to approach all of the bases than some of the other maps. And the Zealots could just never quite get their zombie claws onto any of those SCVs. They kept getting saved by the bio of the Terran player. And eventually Trigger just bled out a few too many Zealots. And then also, the first attack was really painful. I think he lost like 13 to 16 probes there, just holding on. And he did hold on, but HeRoMaRinE saw space to just get in the third base, shut that one down as well, just hunker down, build your defenses up, make a nice sim city, and rally your units to efficient spots. Zealots could never really get something done, although they were taxing the APM of HeRoMaRinE. They were never really taxing his economy, and they were definitely straining Trigger's economy to the limit. Ooh, Adept shades into the middle. Did he want that? I don't know if he wanted that. That feels bad. The Adept is running back. HeRoMaRinE is in the probe line here, and might even get a probe kill here. Gets 1 probe kill. Oh. Second Adept pops out, and the Reaper once again does go down pretty early here from Trigger, just like game 1. And we see the Twilight Cancel coming out. HeRoMaRinE does not know about that, so he still has to be a little bit careful. See Cyclone coming out again. Early Cyclone for HeRoMaRinE. And the CC is built in the main base once again here. Oh, that Widow Mine gets the value. Kills an Adept and just runs away with it. Woohoo! I killed your buddy! Ha! Now he's running back. No! Oh, loses a little bit of vision. I think this one survives, actually. Just runs into the main base here, right? I mean, that shade never completes. No way. You can even repair it with an SCV. Oh no, the Adept, it's stuck. It got caught by the Cyclone, and Trigger just takes the damage on the Cyclone. Knows that the Cyclone can't run away. And HeRoMaRinE, showing the same build he did in game number 1, gets that Cyclone and a bunch of Marines. Actually adds on a Widow Mine here, so it's a little different. Gets a second Cyclone this time around. I don't know if he did that in game number 1, but let's see if he gets a tank after this, or at least a tech lab. We see a Raven coming out pretty early. Big boost in, sees the Twilight Console right away. He has this 1 Widow Mine here. And, oh, we see Interference Matrix now being researched. Oh, the Widow Mine! Oh, it gets sniped up! Almost! Oh, it's so low HP. And gets picked up. 2 probes did die there. With a total of 3 probes dying this game. 1 to the Reaper, remember. And we have the same build for Trigger as well. 4 Gateway, Blink, and a Robo. He liked that setup that he started with, and I couldn't agree more. But we do have this... Oh, he's not getting the Interference Matrix. He cancelled it. Maybe it was just a fake, but then you get a cloak. So he was thinking about it. He really wanted it. Maybe that's a counter for Phoenix Colossus. If your opponent is going Phoenix Colossus, then you want to have the Interference Matrix and start your Raven count ASAP. I think that's probably it. Now, we did see a hot swap for the barracks to go into the tech lab. We see a tank now coming out. A bunker is out. And HeRoMaRinE is very cognizant of what is probably coming his way. He saw the Twilight Console. So it's like, there should be Blink Stalkers coming my way. This Raven in the back here, trying to get some kills with the auto turret. Does get 2 more probes. And the Raven is just chilling. Might go home now. Blink Stalkers trying to make their way up into the main base. But this is not as good of a base to blink your Stalkers into. Well, Trigger doesn't mind. And Stim might be cancelled here. That is the nightmare for Terran players. If your Stim gets cancelled by the Blink Stalkers, you are stuck in your base for the rest of your life, or at least the rest of the game. This upgrade takes so long to build. Warp Prism trying to get a little bit of vision there. See if he wants to commit a full blunk onto the forces of the Terran player. Sees now that there's a second tank as well. We do see a third base here for Trigger again, getting Forge in charge again. So, doing pretty well now, going for the harassment with the 4 Stalkers again, that he can just blink towards his Warp Prism and pick up. Does lose 1 Stalker there to the combined fire of the Marine and the Siege Tank. Raven found a total of 2 kills, so not too much. Dude, back in the day, these auto turrets were a nightmare to deal with, especially as a Zerg player. These 2 assholes, which is, like, one would sit here, one would sit here, and they would just throw auto turrets, like 2 behind your mineral line. You would have to pull your drones, and they had so high DPS. I mean, they still do. But now, they don't stay alive as long. Do lose 2 probes to it again. And another one goes down in the natural. And it's actually HeRoMaRinE getting some damage done this game. How many probes has he killed? 9 already. This one Raven, 6 probe kills to her name. And now we have 3 Siege Tank in a kind of a triangle position. 4th one being added on. And here comes the Sucker Punch from HeRoMaRinE. Look at how big this army is. And he held this aggression way better than last time. Actually, Trigger going in as soon as the army hasn't even left yet. If he waited like 2 more seconds, the army would be here and then it would have to turn around. Buying like crucial seconds here for Trigger. Now goes into the main base again with the Warp Prism. This Ninja Prism is here. And is ready to kill a couple Zealots here. Big warping into the main base. I like this. He wants to force this army to go back, but it does not. We only have a couple sentries here for Trigger. He literally does not have an army right now. Does have a big Stalker force in the main base, so he was hoping for a big Doom Drop. Throws down 2 force fields, and HeRoMaRinE doesn't care. Stims on into the third base for the win. And 4 tanks are now on top of your third base. 9 probes go down right away, and Trigger, this is looking pretty bad. 1 Colossus does come out. It might be... Oh, the Dorito Cannon doesn't follow the Blink Stalker. Okay, good to know, good to know. This 1 Colossus needs to do a lot of work here, but this is 4 Zealots. We need that Warp Prism to come in from behind, drop some Zealots, or just run in some Zealots instead. 14 probes have died, 2 gateways are unpowered, and the Robo's gonna go down before a secondary Colossus comes out. Doesn't blink on top of the Siege Tanks right away, and Trigger, I mean, he's just dead. Oh my god, HeRoMaRinE takes that center position of Trigger once again. 4 Siege Tanks, and Trigger could never find another angle to take that, fight. The Colossus wasn't out, the sentries and Stalkers weren't consolidated, and HeRoMaRinE was able to take this position really quickly, leapfrog very fast into the center of Trigger's bases, and then just even take down the Robo. And Trigger just had no shot in that game. HeRoMaRinE takes this one convincingly, 2-0. Guys, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting, and all that good stuff. And I hope to see you in the next one. Cheers.